Well, on a regular basis, every day, in fact, I checklist myself in the morning, but I also score myself at night. It's very important to score your performance, score what you did. Was it successful? I think it's kind of important. I learned this from my dad, and it's one of those extraordinary things that he does, which is every single night he debriefs. He writes down what he learned, what he discovered. I do this on the go, actually, on a day-to-day basis. If you look at my journal is filled with information about what I'm actually doing, not just what I have to do, but what I'm actually doing, because I become more aware of my time. I become more aware of the things that I'm actually doing, the things that are occupying my attention, because you only have a certain amount of attention units that are being deployed at any one time, and those attention units need to be focused on what's really important. Like Steve Jobs said, nothing brought him greater focus than knowing that he was going to die. And it's a scary thing, but at the same time, it's moratory. Yeah, it's the knowing, that your life is temporal. It's a very temporary thing, and that you need to constantly be matching yourself to what's required. We all together, all too often, forget what we're supposed to be doing. We do. We get sidetracked. We get sidewiped. We get completely sidetracked, distracted by some of the things that are just not that important. And so what I do is every evening I work out what I have been doing and how relevant was that in terms of the goal setting that I have, in terms of where I'm going. How valuable was that really? And I'll score myself on the basis of, did I do this today? In my case, did I help develop a new film? Did I develop a new film? Did I shoot a new film? Did I produce a new project? I'm in a suit today. As you can see, I sponsorship meetings lined up. So every day it's a question of, have I achieved what I need to achieve? Have I seen sponsors? Have I gone to see advertisers, promoters? Have I raised money? Have I found financing? Have I discovered more options for cash? More cash options. So it's really very interesting, because when you're looking for something, you will find it. You will find it. That's what makes life so fascinating. When you're looking for income, for cash, fountains, people that are actually funders of motion pictures and financing, you find them. They are there. And you'll be astounded. The people who absolutely love the art of filmmaking, and they are interested in doing it, being a part of it, making it relevant, making it something that is worthwhile for themselves, sometimes for others. So what we have to do is really score ourselves on the basis of, have we achieved all of the goals? Have we submitted films to film markets, to film festivals? Have I produced music today? This is one of my passions, one of the things I love doing. I enjoy, never mind the art of creating film, but and I am the most, not in that category of being a traditional filmmaker that I can think of. It's taken me a long time to really feel this is funny, because it's taken me a long time to accept myself for all of my very strange bits and parts. yes, I'm a filmmaker, but I'm also a business person, but I'm also a musician, but I'm also a martial artist, but I'm also an amateur athlete. I am fascinated by business. I'm fascinated by all the elements of business. So all of those things sort of bring me together as a person, and a lot of the times I always ask myself this question: is it something I really want to keep doing, this particular part of what I do? And no matter how much I try to break free away from this other thing that's not film related perhaps, but it is, the more I realize that I love it. I love doing the whole process. So I am very much about certainly not breaking off those little segments that make up who I am. And I think you need to do that yourself. You need to be able to write down who you are. Decide for yourself who you are. Who are you? Like, why are you doing what you do? Why do you do the things that you do, the various different things that you do? Are there things that you maybe don't need to do? I have all kinds of things that I think to myself I don't need to do, and yet I do them, and I try to understand why. When my energies are best served working in areas that are far more apt to the things that I should be doing. And so my day unfolds, and as it unfolds, I try to, along the way, do all sorts of things. Like, for instance, I write down what's required to be done. I work out the things that are probably wasting my time. I write those down. I go, you know what, that's probably not what I should be doing. That particular activity or exercise is not as important as it should be, as I should be doing. So I'm not going to do that one anymore. And slowly and surely, and the funny thing is, you know what I've discovered about my life is that the more I do certain kinds of things, the more I realize that some things are me and some things are just not me, And I'll do them to see if I can do those things. I challenge myself, and I pull the veil off of the things that I've always thought were very challenging and very difficult for me. And I'll do them because I think, well, if I do this, I'm going to get value out of learning this. And I stumble a lot, I make all kinds of errors and mistakes going in certain directions, but it sort of shows me what I can and cannot do, what I'm able to and not able to do. So yeah, it's very much that situation. It's very much a situation of where a person discovers who they are by virtue of what they do, by virtue of, well, let me try this. Hey, that worked. That's good. And I find that life is like that. Sometimes we're under this impression that we are meant to do something in a certain way, and then we discover that that's not actually what we should be doing. We should actually be doing that. But you got to tweak your way there. That's kind of critical. Tweaking your way there is extremely valuable and very important. It's one of those little things that we do in life that makes our lives get better. Some people arrive here kind of knowing what they're supposed to do, and they kind of do that and it works for them, and they seem to have a very effortless path, whereas some people sort of stumble around a lot trying to find out where they are and what they're doing, what they're supposed to be doing. Now, I'm a combination of those. I definitely am. I both know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I know exactly my path. I know my calling. I know what I am meant to do. But along that way, I'm stumbling in different areas a lot of the time. There's a big learning curve every day because I tackle so many unique things. One of the propositions that I tackled recently, which has become like a pretty big thing for me, has been real estate development, looking into the what's available, at what price, where, how to locate, relocate, how to set up new studio facilities, how to do all of the things that I'm currently doing. So, and the learning curve in that area has been phenomenal. And I've got very old-fashioned, I guess, because I learned these from, extraordinary people, but old-fashioned beliefs and old-fashioned values when it comes to buying real estate. I don't like to borrow. I don't like debt. I don't like those things. So what happens is I land up doing these very intense things just so to access and acquire. And those things take lots of time and energy. And they take huge amounts of sacrifice to get to where you need to get. So, well, I guess that's kind of the one for today and this morning. But yeah, score yourself. At the end of an evening, have a scorecard, some kind of a score sheet. It doesn't have to be very long. These things shouldn't be long, because you get sidetracked again. If they're too long, it defeats the objective. So you kind of need to go, these are the 10 things I need to achieve daily. These are the 10 things. One of them in there needs to be exercise. I had exercise last night, very late session. It was great. I cycled all the way to a train station and then cycled all the way back. That was a lot of fun, actually. So, but yeah, one of those things should be exercise on there. The other should be perhaps spiritual growth of some kind. The other should be, are you on track with your dream? Did you create a film today? Did you create music, which is what I do in my case? Have I acquired? Have I put a distribution deal into place? So these are things that are daily questions, daily reminders of where you're supposed to be going, so that you don't lose focus, you don't lose your track, right? It's really important that you don't lose track. It's an extremely easy thing to do, to lose track of where you're going, what you're doing. So see if that works for you.